Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to everybody who's joining us this evening and everybody at home online or going to watch the video later at a more convenient time for their schedule. Our first item on the meeting opening is the appointment of our ex officio student member of the board.
As the Board of Education of the Watertown City School District recognizes the importance of including student voice in district governance and values the perspectives and contributions of its students. Whereas in accordance with the board policy and applicable state law, the Board of Education may appoint a student representative to serve as a non-voting member on the board. Whereas Caleb Malcalvo, a student at Watertown High School, has been selected through a fair and inclusive process to serve as the ex officio student representative to the Board of Education 25-26 school year. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this Board of Education hereby appoints Caleb as the student representative to the Board of Education for the 25-26 school year, effective September 1, 2025, and continuing through June 30, 2026, and it's hereby approved.
Motion, please.
Me.
And second.
Lori.
All those in favor? Aye. All those that opposed? Welcome, Caleb.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge my duties as the ex officio student board member for New York City School District of Watertown, New York, to the best of my abilities. Thank you.
Congratulations. The agenda changes for this evening.
I have an updated personnel report provided everybody with an updated board docs.
We've come to the first public comment session of our evening, and I'd like to read the statement that we read at the last meeting as well. The public comment portion of the Board of Education meeting is designed to give members of the public the opportunity to address the board related to school district operations. The board will not permit in public session discussion involving individual district personnel or students. Persons wishing to discuss matters involving individual district personnel or students should present their comments and or concerns to the superintendent of schools during regular business hours. All speakers are to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Obscene language, libelous statements, and threats of violence will not be tolerated. It is not the practice of the board to respond during the meeting to questions posed or comments made by speakers. Therefore, while the board will certainly take any questions or comments you might have under advisement, we will not be responding to any questions. Does anybody have any public comment this evening for agenda related items? Nothing for the agenda this evening. I know we have some comments for the open session later.
Mr. Kane, I would simply like to express Watertown High School's pride in Caleb Montalvo. It is a very, very exciting thing to see a student representative on the Board of Education. On behalf of the high school, we would like to extend our congratulations to his mother and of course to him and to all of you for having him serve alongside you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Atkins. Very well said. Any other comments for agenda related items this evening? Any communications then?
I do not have any.
I have a question. Didn't see the communication. Did you do that at a distance?
I believe that's going to be addressed in public comment. Good question. Board and staff reports, FAF committee, Mr. Cully-Gozer.
Yeah, so we just finished our first of the school year. Committee meeting, we started out talking about internal audit report. Took most of the time. This Title I grant audit report, reviewed and discussed the observations and recommendations. We shifted to credit card policy. Now this is also for the policy committee as well as the finance facilities committee. This was credit card risk acceptance, classroom limit increase, and extra classroom Sam's Club account were addressed. We then shifted to the extra classroom out-of-pocket spending limits, and this will stay the same. Meal reimbursement policy for finance and facilities as well as the policy committee, and this is specifically regarding gratuity reimbursements. Tax collection dates were reviewed. This timeline will stay similar to previous years, last year. And then we finished with some capital project FEMA updates, including good news. It's looking to be approved. Mitigation that hasn't been added to it yet, but will be. And the secure vestibule, as you can see as you walked in, is on track at the district office with additional improvements being investigated and on track to happen, as well as the $110 million capital improvement project with the potential of that being a little bit ahead of schedule. That ended our meeting.
That schedule is always good, yeah. Thank you, Cody. Superintendent of Schools report, Dr. Larry Schmiegel.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Leslie, for your comments.
Thank you.
Our welcome back, Watertown. I want to thank all of our community sponsors that supported that event and all of our students and families who also attended. We had 568 backpacks filled with school supplies handed to students. Over 254 families attended. Over 680 individuals altogether, with roughly, we're guesstimating here, but over 80 haircuts. We think it was close to 100 kids received haircuts. We're excited for that, for our community for supporting that event. The other thing is I would like to thank our students that graduated last week. We had our summer school graduation, so congratulations to each of those students that graduated last week. Yesterday, we had our welcome back Watertown event, welcome back staff event, excuse me. This year's theme is Ready to Make a Difference. We had 900 plus staff in attendance. We had the opportunity to recognize a community member and partner, Stephen J. Todd, who's retiring. He began his career here in the Watertown City School District, so we did a surprise retirement recognition for him. We also had Sergeant Major John Folger from the military attend to give some positive words to our staff. And also we had Patrick Manning, one of our regencies, the Region 5 representative from the Board of Regents. So he spoke and celebrated in that success. Last night, as we drove around the district for our open houses, we had a wonderful participation. Yesterday was also the first day back for staff. So I want to thank all of our staff, our custodians, clerical, TAs, teachers, nurses, LPNs that were there to make our parents feel welcomed. As an incoming 7th grader, I have a son entering 7th grade. There was some anxiety leaving Wiley and heading to middle school for the very first time. The teachers at Case did a really personal job with all of the kids to make them rest assured. And then we have some new security procedures that are in place with our open gate detection systems. And that was also in the paper. I do have a couple of public service announcements, just as a reminder that as the secure vestibule, as you walked in, that is a reminder that as of next Monday, the district office doors will not be accessible through the district office doors. Will be entering through Wiley. That will take place through the month of September, with the hope that as of October, we'll be able to re-access those doors. They're going to be laying the concrete work for the awning and for the sidewalk leading up to Wiley and the new district office entrance. The other thing I do want to read this one. It's just a nice reminder for our community that schools are starting. And there's some safety procedures that we should, as community members, participate in. So back to school safety reminder, watch for buses, walkers, and crosswalks. Our district has over 4,100 students. As the new school year begins on Thursday, September 4th, the Watertown City School District would like to remind all drivers and community members to please stay alert and exercise caution around school zones, bus stops, and neighborhoods. Each day, thousands of children in our community walk or ride the bus to school. Their safety depends on all of us. Please be alert for school buses. Always stop when a school bus extends its stop arm or flashes red lights. Never pass a stopped school bus on either side. Watch for walking students. Children may cross streets at unexpected places. Please slow down, especially in your schools, parks, and residential areas. Respect crossing guards. Our crossing guards are there to keep our students safe. Please follow their signals and instructions without exception. Please be patient and courteous, as school traffic may cause brief delays. A few extra minutes of caution can save lives. Let's work together to ensure a safe, respectful, and smooth start to the school year. And the other thing that I do want to share that is positive news for the Watertown City School District, as you may have seen in the news, we hit our anticipated graduation rate. So New York State takes in 3 components. They take your June graduation, they take your August graduation, and those students that graduate by October Beds Day. And so our current graduation, inclusive of summer school graduates, is 81%. And we looked at that. That is the highest graduation rate this district has seen in 12 years. I just want to say congratulations to all of our students, our staff, and our families for all the work that you do. And as our motto states for this year, we are ready to make a difference.
Hard to top that one.
Down, that's it.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, Stephanie.
Thank you. Last week, we completed our 3-day new teacher orientation with over 30 teachers in attendance. They had the opportunity to learn about district initiatives, curricular programs, technology platforms. We are very excited to welcome such an outstanding group of educators who have chosen to be Cyclones, and we are truly fortunate to have them join our team. Also this summer, our educators devoted significant time to professional development, curriculum development, and planning. Thousands of hours went into this, and we are fortunate to have such an exceptional group of teachers who prioritize their own learning as well as their students. And then finally, our last 2 opening days have been filled with presentations, meetings, and collaborations, all geared toward preparing for our first day of students tomorrow. We're very excited. Our open houses saw strong attendance, and families and students seem very enthusiastic, as are we, about the school year.
Thank you. Next up is Assistant Superintendent for Personnel and Student Services, Mrs. Tina Lane.
You. Today, the district hosted a professional development session entitled Sub Smart, Be the Sub They Ask For Again and Again. More than 70 instructional substitutes, teacher assistants, and aides participated in this interactive training right in this room. In collaboration with our partners at Jefferson Lewis BOCES, the training addressed key topics including safety procedures, instructional strategies, and pedagogy, and effective communication. The purpose of the session was to equip our substitute staff with practical tools to enhance their effectiveness, support student learning, and strengthen their connection to our schools. We also emphasized the importance of substitutes actively responding to job opportunities within the district, ensuring consistency, continuity for our students. And the feedback we received already today was extremely positive, with those in attendance noting that the training was engaging, relevant, and immediately useful in their daily roles. Today, Officer Shane Ryan from the Watertown Police Department presented to all staff on school safety procedures, including building lockdown protocols and emergency preparedness. His presentation was both engaging and informative for the more than 900 staff members in attendance. Finally, the Watertown City School District has worked diligently to prepare for the opening of school. Our efforts reflect a strong commitment to ensuring that every classroom, staff, and every building is ready to welcome students tomorrow. The following are a few key highlights. 106 new employees have been hired across the district over the last 2 months. 10 were hired last week. All teaching positions have been filled, testament to the fact that Watertown City School District is a place where people want to be. 250 substitutes are currently on our list, to include 141 instructional substitutes, 110 non-instructional substitutes, to include clerical, custodial, food service, etc. Our staff are prepared, our buildings are ready, and we look forward to welcoming students back with enthusiasm. We extend our very best wishes to both our new and veteran staff as they begin the 25-26 school year.
And last but not least, the Assistant Superintendent for Operations and Finance, Brianna.
Thank you. As I mentioned last month, my goal this year was to at least highlight one item from each of the 5 departments I supervise. We'll start with the Transportation Department. The Transportation Feasibility Study is well underway. FEH BOCES will be reaching out to Charmaine next week at First Student for some additional information. A full report is expected to be shared with the board in the coming months. The study is an important step in exploring ways to improve the efficiency, safety, and reliability of our transportation services, ensuring all students have consistent access to school and supporting regular attendance and engagement. From IT, the camera and digital radio projects are also moving forward. Phase 1 of the camera project is nearly complete, with phases 2 and 3 set to continue through the month of September. Meanwhile, base stations for radio system have been installed and radios are currently being configured with the rollout plan for the next week. I believe a few people have already gotten radios today. Both initiatives enhance our school safety and communications, supporting student attendance and engagement across the district. From food service, several upgrades have been made, including new ovens and equipment at Starbucks, refreshed signage at Sherman, Ohio, and Knickerbocker, and some updated school menus. These improvements not only modernize our facilities, but also help create a more inviting dining experience that encourages participation, supports good nutrition, and contributes to positive student behavior. And from our facilities team, they've been hard at work deep cleaning and performing preventive maintenance in all 8 of our school buildings. They've introduced standardized checklists, which is one of the highlights we're looking forward to from our new director, to ensure consistent cleaning practices, and they're developing a preventative maintenance schedule to prepare equipment for the upcoming winter months. And these efforts reflect our commitment to providing clean, safe, and welcoming environments for our students and staff alike. And finally, from the business office, our external audit is nearing completion, finally. This process plays a critical role in ensuring fiscal responsibility and transparency. By undergoing independent review of our financial practices, we continue to strengthen community trust, promote accountability, and identify opportunities for ongoing improvement in our financial operations. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say I'm looking forward to a great new year, and welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
Michelle, items for consent agenda?
The consent agenda items A through F are hereby approved.
Take a motion. Lori and Melanie. Discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Items for board action. A, approval to confirm the tax roll, levy the tax, and issue the collection warrant for the Watertown City School District.
Whereas voters have authorized the board to raise up to $103,909,155 for the 25-26 school year. Resolved that the board approves the following tax rates and confirms the extension of taxes. Further resolved, a signed tax warrant shall authorize collection from October 7th through December 5th, 2025. Penalty schedule is October 7th through November 7th with no penalty. November 8th through December 5th, 2% interest. After December 5th, turned over to the city or the county as additional interest applies. Further resolved, the tax collector is directed to, number 1, begin collection on October 7th per real property tax law section 1322. Number 2, end on December 5th, 2025. Number 3, collect a total of $17,929,518 under section 1318. Number 4, return the warrant and rolls unaltered unless we call for correction, section 1360.
Motion, please. Tina, second. Laura, discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item B, approval to confirm the tax roll, levy the tax, and issue the collection warrant for the Flower Memorial Library.
Whereas the Board of Education has been authorized by voters to raise up to $75,000 for the Flower Memorial Library for the 25-26 school year. Now be it resolved that the board sets equalized tax rates by town and confirms the tax plan for library purposes. Signed tax warrant shall be affixed to the tax roll, authorizing collections from October 7th through December 5th, 2025. After this period, the tax collector must submit a written report to the board on delinquent tax penalties, October 7th through November 7th, no penalty. November 8th through December 5th, 2% interest. After December 5th, unpaid taxes turned over to the city or county with additional interest. tax collection instructions to the tax collector for the Watertown City School District, including the city of Watertown and towns of Array, Pamelia, Rutland, and Watertown, Jefferson County. You are authorized to and directed to, number one, begin collection on October 7, 2025, per section 1322 and 1324. Number two, end collection on December 5th, 2025. Number three, collect $75,000 in library taxes. And number four, make no corrections to the warrant or roll, return them to the board. The board may recall them only to correct errors.
Take motion, please. Yeah, and second. Discussion. Favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Item C, approval of data processing services agreement.
Whereas the city of Watertown has computer equipment which has automated the functions performed within the city assessment department. And whereas the city assessor's office is responsible for maintaining the records for all real property within the city of Watertown. And whereas the city has the ability to produce assessment rolls, print, fold, and seal tax bills, and maintain the data needed to accomplish these tasks. And whereas the Watertown City School District has a need for the services offered by the city's assessment and information technology departments. Now therefore be resolved that the City Council of the City of Watertown approves the 3-year data processing services agreement with the Watertown City School District, a copy of which is attached and made a part of this resolution. And be it further resolved that the city manager, Eric Wagner, is hereby authorized and directed to execute the agreement on behalf of the City of Watertown.
Motion. Randy, second. Discussion?
Can you just state what is it, 3 amounts, so 3 years? 3 different amounts, is it the same all 3 years?
Take a look at that.
It's an escalating scale, so it is different. Do you have that?
I do have the numbers. Would you like those right now? Okay, for the 25-26 school year, the amount is $11,300. For the 26-27 school year, that amount is $11,639. And for the 27-28 school year, that amount is $11,988.17.
We've always had this, right? This isn't.
Questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. Yes, you get to stand now, Lindsay. Item D on the agenda, approval of an SSO employment agreement.
And it's a regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Watertown City School District held on October 17, 2023. Whereas the Watertown City School District wishes to enter into an employment agreement with Lindsay Morrow Closter for the provision of school security services as a school safety officer. And whereas the Board of Education has reviewed and proposed employment agreement with Lindsay Morrow Closter for the provision of school security services as a school safety officer, and has held a public hearing for the purpose of soliciting input from various stakeholders regarding this agreement as required by law. And whereas the individuals are generally prohibited from possessing and carrying firearms on school district property, absent written authorization from the school district pursuant to New York Penal Law Section 265.01A. And whereas Lindsay Morrow Closter's work activities and duties as school safety officer necessitates the possession and or carrying of a firearm on school district property. Now, therefore, be it resolved as follows. Number one, the Board of Education hereby approves the proposed school safety officer employment agreement and authorizes the superintendent of schools to take all necessary actions and execute any necessary documents on behalf of the Board of Education. Number two, the Board of Education hereby authorizes Lindsay Morrow Closter to possess and carry a firearm on school district property while working in capacity as a school safety officer. Number three, the authorization shall be in effect for the duration of Lindsay Morrow Coaster's employment by the school district as a school safety officer. Number 4, the Board of Education reserves the right to revoke this authorization at any time without cause. And number 5, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
So Lindsay has served as an SSO for Alexandria Bay. So thank you for coming in this direction, and retired as a state trooper investigator.
Yes.
Motion, please. Lori, in a second. Tina, discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, Lindsay. Welcome to Water. Item E, approval of personnel report.
Be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, Dr. Larry Schmiegel, the Board of Education hereby approves the following: resignations, appointments probationary instructional, term non-probationary instructional, term non-probationary non-instructional, probationary non-instructional, Cyclone Academy, permanent, part-time, provisional, substitutes instructional, substitutes non-instructional, all coaching girls, all coaching boys.
Motion, please. Melanie, seconded by Tina. Discussion?
Just have a question. When it says 0, did they ever work here or no?
Sometimes people get tired and then
Gotcha.
start. Yes.
Got like a not show up, or they found something better, or?
Many reasons, but not show is.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. And item F, approval to dispose, recycle, or donate unused textbooks.
Resolved that the disposal, recycling, or donation of damaged, outdated, and unused New York State Social Studies and 4th grade Harcourt science textbooks from Knickerbocker Elementary and 50 Math Connects textbooks from H.T. Wiley Intermediate School is hereby.
Motion, please. Randy? And Tina. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That is the end of the resolution.
Thank you. We are at our second public comment, and we encourage anybody who wants to make public comments to reach out to the board clerk to make sure that they get on the schedule. And we had 2 people that did that for today, so I'm just going to go in the order that they reached out to us. And the first one was Mr. Cashman.
Hi.
Good evening. How are you today?
Very good. Some of you do know me, some of you do not. I'm Craig Cashman, I'm the CEO of Community Action Planning Council, ACFP. GACFP, I think that's.
This is my program. See.
Yeah, we're with childcare. So, just, part of what I wanted to talk to you a little bit today really was about doing an RFP. But I do want to just highlight a few things. Next year is our 60th year being in Jefferson County. We were created through the Economic Opportunity Act 60 years ago during the Johnson administration. And of course, so was Head Start. It was by design. It was the first early childhood education program across the nation. Now there's over 1,000 community action agencies, and the majority of them do Head Start programs. We also do UPK throughout Jefferson County. We have just under 500 children in both Head Start and UPK in 6 school districts. I highlight that is because we've been doing this for 30 years with you folks. We were one of the first CBOs to do that. But at the same time, we're not the only organization who has just tremendous skills. The rest of the CBOs that are here and have been here are at your fingertips and have been at your fingertips. We are very lucky in this community to have that, to have those folks that are focused on childcare, that are focused on early childhood education, that are focused on disability services. We have them in a good collaborative system. It hasn't been collaborative as of late. And that's a shame because it's going to harm our children. And so what I'm recommending, and I recommended from the beginning, and you heard it from Scott Gray, you heard it from others, and you now are hearing it from the CBOs. I sent you a letter a couple of weeks ago, and I followed up with that letter. And I want to just read that letter to you. This is not fiery. It's not anything like this. I'm not Anthony. But I admire Anthony. I admire Millie because they have such passion for this community. We deliver the service, right? It's our mission. We're not doing it for money. It's our mission. We do that service, but we have tremendous expertise, and that's always at your fingertips. But I do think, and I won't presume, but I think most people at this table would say, we didn't really do a great job in community planning. We should have done a better job. And so with that, I just want to read this letter to you. We hope this message finds you well. I'm writing on behalf of the CBOs to respectfully encourage the Board of Education, the district, to issue a request for proposal to develop a comprehensive strategic plan for strengthening universal pre-K in our community. It is widely recognized that while our district has made changes in offering UPK, many families still face barriers, including limited program availability, uneven quality across sites, and challenges with accessibility. Without a clear, comprehensive plan, we risk leaving children unprepared for kindergarten and beyond, missing the opportunity to build a strong foundation during the most critical years of development. By investing in a well-structured, community-driven plan for UPK, our district can ensure that all families, regardless of income, neighborhood, or background, have equitable access to these critical opportunities. A thoughtful, developed plan created through the expertise of a qualified partner would access current UPK availability, quality, and capacity within the district, identify gaps in access, equity, and alignment, build trust by engaging families, educators, and community partners to shape solutions, establish strategies for sustainable funding, staffing, and facilities, provide a clear roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years. By issuing an RFP, the district can draw on professional expertise while also ensuring a transparent, inclusive, and accountable process. This step would position our community to maximize funding, community support, strengthen partnerships and trust, and most importantly, provide our youngest learners with a strong foundation they deserve. We urge the board to consider moving forward with this important initiative by authorizing the release of an RFP for a comprehensive UPK plan. Our committee has a unique opportunity to lead with vision, equity, and commitment to our children's future. Lastly, we recognize that this process can take upwards of 5 to 6 months, from release of an RFP to initial implementation and March planning for the 2026-27 school year. It is with this timeline in mind that we encourage this initiative to be expedited. To this end, I've attached an RFP, which is simply a draft. But I've written many RFPs. You've all written many RFPs. But I wanted you just to say, okay, let me look at this and determine whether or not you think that's a good idea. And I've said this a lot lately, but leadership is just about simply learning, or it's just simply listening. And what I hope you do is listen to what I have to say, because it's important for our community. Thank you.
Your time, Mr. Pashman. Appreciate that. Second community member that reached out to speak tonight was Ms. Millie Smith.
So, Mr. Brian Ashley did not know the process.
We'll still allow it.
I thought so. Go ahead. He was nervous that you weren't going to let him.
My apologies for not knowing the protocol, but
It's fine.
thank you for entertaining my, I have a couple of comments. First of all, I appreciate the school district refurbishing the tennis courts. And I've been a user of those tennis courts over the years. But one of the things you haven't had there is a return wall. Something where someone who's an individual can come in and practice just like they would have a partner. My wife and I are prepared to offer some financial assistance to make that happen, if that indeed is a good enough incentive to encourage the district to do that. Second of all, I live 263 Thompson Boulevard. In my backyard is Knickerbocker School. And it's always a joy to hear those young voices out there having fun and learning. But something has happened over the past couple of years, and I don't know, how it took place, but usually every morning, if I'm back on my back porch and I'm having my cup of tea, I'm almost feel encouraged to stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance with the whole Knickerbocker School. and listen to the announcements and everything else because you have an outdoor speaker system. It's fine. I mean, I don't think it really bothers too many people, but I'm just thinking that maybe if there was an AV switch so that you didn't have to broadcast to the whole neighborhood, especially if there's sensitive information that you're distributing throughout the school. My wife reminded me that you had some kind of an active shooter exercise earlier in the year. And she thought, well, perhaps if there is an active shooter and you're disseminating information, active shooter is going to hear everything that you're disseminating. It's just a suggestion that I think it's a simple fix. I'm not an engineer, but I'm thinking that just a small way to flip it from inside to outside when you need to get the kids from outside to hear something about getting into the school. That's important. We want to make sure they're safe. But it's just a minor annoyance that I thought you might be able to take care of. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your.
Thank you, Lily.
See? Not me.
That's right.
Okay, I have a few things. I'm sure it's not unexpected. A couple of things I'm gonna go in order is policy. So I would like to know, and I'm sure that Lori will be happy to undertake this, but when you look for the communication policy in the policy handbook, there is no true delineation as to what the communication is supposed to be according to the agenda. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because Mr. Cashman won't say this, but I will. He sent an email and wanted his letter read as part of communications. Now, I've been on the board for 2 years, and it seems to me that what gets read during communications is an arbitrary decision. There were times when I was on the board where people sent communications and it was decided that it wasn't going to be read. I don't know why, but we need to look at that as a group and a board. What is the policy for communications? My understanding in government is that when you send a letter to an organization or a board or the city council or any governing body, you are supposed to read that without deciding independently whether that's appropriate or not. So he was told that that needed to be part of the public comments. And he was gracious enough to come because it's very important that the entire board know about that. And right now there's a big trust issue where the communication is being passed on effectively. So this is a medium that we can use that we know that what we are saying is being heard by everyone equally so that you're not judged as to why is the board allowing that to happen? Because that seems to be the buzz in the community. Why is the board allowing this to happen? My belief is I don't believe that all the information is being passed out. So if you could take a look at that.
Sorry, I don't know if you heard me in the beginning. I did it. I did say right in the beginning that we had a communication on August 28th.
Perfect.
I had it with me.
Yeah, that's because you talk too soft.
Oh.
You're a soft, nice person. So I did not hear that, but good. I'm glad you did that. The second thing is, and looking at the policies is I don't see anywhere that we have a policy regarding district vehicles. As we know, we purchased a $85,000 Yukon. And I've received many phone calls that Yukon is not on campus and is being housed in a private setting. So we need to look at what our policy, and if we don't have one, we just purchased 4 beautiful vans. I saw them all sitting out there when I came in tonight. So we need to develop a policy regarding district vehicles, because I was also told that in the summer, a teacher or someone requested to use the vehicle to transport kids from one school to another, and they were denied, and first student had to be called, and first student had to transport those kids. That's a waste of taxpayer dollars, and that's not the purpose of that vehicle was purchased so that we could avoid using first student. It was told, I was on the board, so I'm communicating stuff that's fact. I was told that vehicle was going to be used for children who needed to go to appointments or transportations, or if teachers needed to go to CMEs, they could use that. Is that happening? I don't know, but we need to be looking at that because those are taxpayer dollars and we own those vehicles, not any individual in the district. The second thing, I really tried to address this in a private way and it didn't come to fruition. I'm offended that during the last public, not the last one, but the prior one, last one, I wasn't here. I specifically asked if we could reveal the RFP proposals and the bid amounts. And somehow my public request translated into a FOIL request. I did not FOIL anything. That was a public request. It is public information. Everyone in this room and everyone in this community is entitled to receive those dollar figures. Then I got an email with all the proposals. You went to an attorney. You wasted our tax dollars for a process that should have just been simple when you're paying a CFO and could have delivered those numbers right at that meeting. But you chose not to because you said you needed to contact legal. That is a waste of taxpayer dollars. We should not have done that. There is no need to, that is public information. And maybe what we all need to learn is what is public information. No one has the right to hold that from us. I did not FOIL anything. If I want to FOIL something, I'm going to FOIL it. I did not FOIL that. That was translated, and it was also translated to the people who put the bids out. I mean, that isn't appropriate. I don't know that everybody on this board knows that, but I never received a response. I don't appreciate that, and that is not being transparent. Don't waste our tax dollars on something that can simply be delivered in information right here on this floor. The third line of item that is a few questions, and I'll be optimistic and hope that I can get some answers. We are now one day away from the first day of school, and I would like to know, with the debacle of the UPK programs, which were translated by NCPR writings, by the TV station, by the Watertown Daily Times, of how many families have been affected by the cluster of decisions that was made by this board and supported by the board. So for the majority, I'm not going to say everyone, because clearly there's 3 people on this board that support the community, the kids, and the CBOs. The rest of you are supporting whatever is going on. So my question is, how many kids are still awaiting to be placed in slots? And does anyone have an answer for that? Has anyone on the board been concerned about how many kids were left out of being placed? Did anyone ask that question? Does anybody have that number? Because we're one day away from school, so we should have that number. John, do you know that number?
Last I knew, the number was still moving.
So there's no number.
They were still working on trying to find placements and encourage parents to take advantage of the placements that were available.
Were you also informed that there were kids and there were families who were detrimentally affected because they had a set of triplets and 2 of them got into a CBO, a class, and 1 of them didn't? Did you know that twins were separated because 1 twin got in and another twin didn't? And to a further detriment of what the decision was made, our very own immediate past president, Mr. Harrington's child, did not get a UPK slot. The phone call he received was her name was not picked out of a hat. That is embarrassing. So if it happened to him, it happened to many other children and many other parents. And there was a mother here at the last meeting. I wasn't here, but I certainly watched the meeting. And she sat here and she told everyone how it was going to destroy her family. Supposedly there's 4-year-old slots out there. Nobody knows where they are. People have a waiting list going on. It is one day away and these families have no idea where their kids are going. What you guys voted on is you allowed your superintendent to usurp your power to have complete oversight of the UPK process and the CBO relationships. That's what you did. Because what he proposed and you guys voted for was that the district would decide on allocations. The district would decide on the monies. And all you guys could do as a board was vote who we could collaborate with. That is a broken process. You took something that was intact up until last year. As soon as these CBOs started coming forward and the board took issue with it, which we all sat on that board together, it was listened to. And then as soon as the district got a hold of the information, everything went upside down. So I don't know if you guys realize what you did, but you allowed a superintendent, when you look at the hierarchy of power, they work for you. You represent the community, and we've failed our community. And I'm going to read something that was sent to me, and it started as investing in our children, empowering our future. I'm ... And running for the Watertown City School District Board of Education because every child deserves access to quality education, safe schools, and engaging opportunities to succeed. With your support, I will advocate for transparency, equity, and programs that truly benefit our students, teachers, and families. Let's work together to strengthen our schools and build a brighter future. I'd like to ask how that particular person who ran for a seat thinks that by reducing our CBOs partnerships from 10 classrooms to half, 5, is really going to pay tribute to that statement. Where is their equity? Where is our children, our future? You are negating these children's education from their toddler years. But you think you're going to have a high success rate? I commend you. You have an 84% graduation rate. You think that's going to continue to happen when we're not providing education to our toddlers?
This is still against our policy.
Excuse me? You are not the board president.
I'm asking the board president.
What does what go against our board policy? What I'm quoting?
Well, I think that you're calling people out.
How am I calling? Whose name did I say?
I'm just asking a question, that was all.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Just ask.
You interrupted me, by the way, and I had a good thing going here. So I'm not calling anyone out. I don't believe that the board really wants this to happen. I really think that we're hurting as a community. I really think that the board is not really getting the full picture here. And there is, CEOs of CBOs coming to talk. You've got senators involved. You've got county legislators involved. You've got community leaders. At what point do we collectively see that there's a problem here? It's all over and done with at this point. Like school starts tomorrow. Everyone's going to end up wherever they end up. It's a done deal. It's water under the bridge. Let's move forward. I think what Mr. Cashman proposed is phenomenal. Let's do right by our community. Let's make it fair. Let's make it transparent. Put that RFP out. Have them research our community, see what we need, see how many kids we can allocate, and see how we can work together. You talked in your last board meeting how Tina got chills because you ran into a parent that talked about how much the district has saved their lives. Wouldn't we want that for everybody? Because I'm sure you're not a malicious person, but there's a lot of families hurting right now, a lot. And guess what? We can't remedy that anymore because we can't open up more classrooms. We can't open up more slots. It is what it is right now. So just like Randy said 2 meetings ago, we could do better and we should do better. If we do wrong by our own volunteer board members, what are we doing as a community here? My last point of, that I want to bring up, and these are just points of process, because I like to do that, and you guys know that about me. So the agenda traditionally has always been put out on the Friday before the board meeting. I think it is important that we stick to that because it allows the community to see what's on the agenda. And now you're bringing back, and John, I really appreciate that you're very gracious with Brian. There's a lot of people who don't know that. For 3 years, we've had board meetings where you didn't have to announce yourself. You didn't have to send an email. It was an open forum. There was no cutting you, you talk too much. We had that. That's what Harrington's legacy left. We should continue that. We shouldn't go backwards. So people just don't know. They don't know that you've got to now. And actually, one of my questions was, I thought initially when you are emailing to talk, that you are emailing to talk about an agenda related item, which is a first public comment versus a second. But I heard you say tonight that you want an email whether you're going to talk on either section.
Correct. And to be clear, the policy, which is right on the school website, right on the board website, is policy 2306. We're not going to stop somebody from speaking. The policy is, clear. It is recommended that persons
Sure.
to address the board shall register.
Good.
I think
Okay.
it helps us to plan and prepare appropriately.
Okay. And I appreciate that because I did send Michelle an email and I
think it helps Michelle help people to realize
Yeah.
which part they're going to be speaking at. If it's
Okay.
not an agenda
And
item,
that's
she's
fine.
letting them know
Okay.
it'll be a second.
as long as we're not going to be militant about it, I think,
Gotcha.
because you don't want to dissuade, it's hard for people to come here anyway, so you don't want to dissuade them. So I'm glad to hear you say that. The other thing that I think is really important is when you put resolutions on the agenda, you've got to delineate what your resolutions are. You can't just leave them blank because those are going to be discussed on public floor and we don't know. And the reason why I'm saying this is because technically, at the August 5th meeting, there was a violation of open meeting law. Because if you go back and you read what you say when you go to executive session, you guys spent 4 hours deliberating on the CBOs. That is taxpayer dollars. That was not employment. That was a partnership that this community was very involved in. And you guys spent 4 hours behind closed doors discussing things that should have been discussed on public floor. And that is a true violation of open meetings law. You need to be careful what you bring back behind those closed doors. And then the resolution was not on the agenda. And then when you came out of executive session, you had this whole resolution with rankings and, of the CBOs and who was gonna highest scoring to lowest scoring, and then what CBOs were going to be participating. That was not information that you just whipped up in 4 hours. You knew that ahead of time. And that was not given to the public, and that is not appropriate. And we have every right to have access to that information, as much of information as possible, so that we can come here, communicate, talk, so that we can work together. Because I will be looking at that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to push back a little bit on that one.
That's fine.
The resolution was there. We were talking about potential contracts the school was engaging in, and that is for privileged executive session.
So I don't disagree with you, except that some of the content, I'm going to guess, was not executive session material. That's all I'm cautioning to. We're not going to know, but when you come out here and you deliver your decision, if you're paying attention, I'm going to decipher that there was stuff discussed there that was not executive material. So I'm just saying, this is your board. You're the president. It's a big shoes to follow, passing the baton. These guys did a great job. So it's a tough position for you to be in, and it's tough for everyone that I'm on the other side now, because I know what goes on back there. So I appreciate you allowing me to talk, and I appreciate you listening to my thoughts, and I hope that you will go back and look at some of the things that I mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anybody else for public comment this evening? Okay. No items for discussion or information. Upcoming dates. September 4th, tomorrow, school opens K-12. As Dr. Schmiegel pointed out, please be aware for all of our drivers in the city. Please watch out for our school buses and all of our walkers. September 16th, policy meeting at 5, followed by the Board of Education meeting at 6. We have a wrong date.
Yeah.
It's the 16th and the 17th.
It's the sixteenth.
So the 16th, policy meeting at 5, followed by the regular Board of Education meeting at 6. And that one is our annual trip to North Elementary for those meetings, so please be aware of that. Look around the district. Tina. Actually, I should start with Caleb. Caleb, I gotta, you want to wait? You want to see how this goes before you go? All right, we'll start with Caleb. I want to put you on the spot.
All righty, I have a few things to say. I was a little sentimental here this morning because this would have been my 19th year with the district. And after yesterday getting up early, I realized another reason why it was that I retired. That was a killer. But I miss it. I miss the kids, I miss the staff, I miss the people, I miss being involved in their daily activities. I like being on this side to try to help implement things for them, but I miss the hands-on. They're seeing their faces and whatever. Feel of nose and those parts on your mouth. That welcome back presentation yesterday was phenomenal. I was surprised that our graduation rate was 84%, but I was very, very pleased. And the teachers and the students should all be very, very proud of themselves for getting to that level and pushing through when there's days that they don't want to come or they don't want to get up or they don't want to, whatever. And teachers also, they don't think they make a difference or, it's a tornado in their classroom. So they should be very, very proud of themselves and they do make a huge difference. And I just want to say to the students coming back next year or tomorrow, whatever day it is, that I wish you all good luck. Be kind to people, kids, staff, students, set and be respectful. Set big goals, push yourself and make this year a year of an exceptional accomplishments. And as our presenter said yesterday, that laughter equals safety. And I hope that there is a ton of laughter. I hope that if I go to the schools, I can hear them laughing down the halls and relax, have fun, and know that they are safe here.
All right.
I just wanted to touch on, thank you for clearing up the policy because I was not here last week and I did feel myself that we were stating that the policy that it was that you have to sign in, and I didn't really like that because I am the one that helped write this policy and that was not the intentions. So I'm glad that I don't have to get pushback on that because I was going to. Because there is a lot of people that are really nervous and sometimes they do show up here and they hear something and then that makes them feel brave to stand up and talk, which was the whole intent of that section. Discussions. So I wanted to touch on that. I do want to ask openly regarding the communications because I did bring that up. We did get an email and I'm really confused why we're not. I mean, his letter was lovely. I'm if you can just clear that up for anybody else who does send us a letter, like when do we read the communications? When don't you read the communications? Should we have just so we can clear that up for anybody else that has wrote a nice letter like this?
Randy.
I want to first say gratitude to everyone who made tomorrow possible. That doesn't just happen. And even though I've been out of school a long time, I can still feel those first day jitters. It's weird, it sticks with it forever. I did want to just ask the board if at a future meeting, I think it would be good for us to discuss what transparency means. Some of the issues that Millie raised, I've had some of those concerns. That meeting early in August where we approved $4 million for a construction management firm. I wasn't comfortable with that. It felt like, why did that have to be a secret? And as we go into this $110 million capital project, we're gonna have a lot more of those. And I worry about doing the public's business secretly, and I felt that way. I don't feel like anyone should have to ask for that, but I think we would benefit from all of us talking about what we as board members feel is appropriate. So we're not guessing or we're not having to wonder. Let's have that discussion. So maybe in a future meeting, we could talk about not just that, but other issues that come up. I just think it would be healthy for us.
I just want to say, because I was just saying that too, I just want to say good luck to everyone here. Here, all the best ones.
Just to start by welcoming Caleb. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
In addition to that, let's see, I heard great things about the Welcome Back event, on Tuesday. A lot went into that, and, you know, Dr. Schmiegel already mentioned the 84% graduate, but, just want to congratulate everyone on that. It truly is a huge effort. Everyone. I was able to attend an open house at Case. It looks great, very welcoming, ready for students. And you know, from the moment you walk in the door, you're greeted, all the teachers and everyone's making sure everything's ready. Any problems were handled. It's just very welcoming.
Ellen.
I am glad that we do a summer graduation. It was nice to attend that 2 weeks ago. So for even a small number of students and their families to get to celebrate that accomplishment, that was really nice to see. The Welcome Back Watertown, there were certainly a lot of people that attended, and I will say I overheard one parent say that they only had to get one more school supply. So that has to be a nice weight off of their shoulders. I guess finally, the not as positive, but still positive. I was speaking to another parent, and they were headed to Case's open house, and the child is concerned about all of the extra security as they go in. So they were glad that they had the open house, and I'm hoping and hopeful that teachers will be able to speak about the extra security because it is feeling a little bit scary to some of our students going in.
I'd like to thank the community members in tonight, and I'd like to congratulate for his lenient position in public and I think that speaks volumes to who you're gonna be. So.
All right, now that you've seen how it's done, Caleb.
I'd like to say during this board meeting, I've heard very positive things. The open house sounded very positive, the way Dr. Smeagol relayed the information, especially the Welcome Back to Watertown event. I know many students have had their concerns with the safety protocols going into the Case in high school. And they've reached out to me and I've communicated with them. It's security purpose. It's supposed to help us from intruders and weapons against us. I would like to thank Dr. Smeagol for that, especially what happened a couple weeks ago in Minnesota. It feels great to have that security system in place to prevent that. And that's all I have to say.
Caleb, I think we're gonna be very interested in the next meeting to hear your perspective on how the flow of traffic works through those new security measures.
I love that the kids come to and ask you questions and want to represent them and answer and find out. That's impressive.
So congratulations, Caleb, you're officially here. We need to get them on the website too.
Yes, we
Yes.
sure do.
I'll be sure we do that. You gotta have your picture up there with the rest of us. Thank you, Millie, for coming out. I do appreciate it. And Mr. Cashman and Mr. Ashley, we'll definitely be looking into some of those things and hopefully getting back to you as soon as we can. Good luck to all of our teachers and all of our students tomorrow. It's a brand new year. We've done some great things. 84% is an amazing graduation rate. You know, we need to continue to work until it's 100%. I don't think anybody in this room will be satisfied until it's 100%. And that obviously is a difficult goal, but keep working at it. And I know our teachers will do it. With that.
Wait, can I
yes.
just make a small request? Follow up on behalf of the community on what those UPK numbers are. I think it's important that we know what those numbers are.
Yes.
Thank you.
At this time, we are in need of an executive session for the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, and the proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property, or the proposed acquisition, sale, or exchange of securities, but only when publicity would substantially affect the value of these things. May I have a motion? Lori, in a second. Tina, discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Good session.